Hey, what is up guys? Eric Thane here and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be talking about some of the things that I've learned from coaching and mentorship that you would be wise to learn as well. Let's do it. Okay, so first things first, the title is not clickbait. I really did spend $300,000 on coaching and mentorship, and I know that probably seems like a ton of money. In fact, it is. It is a lot of money, and I've thought many times about how much money that is and how many other things I could have bought with that money. I mean, I could have like a few really nice cars, or I could have like 3 or 4 nice airy cameras. There's a lot of things that I could have spent that money on, but the reality is I know that I would not be where I am today had I not made that investment in myself. And so every single penny of that $300,000 has come back to me tenfold. And that's just the reality of investing in yourself, right? So, and by the way, I don't share any of this to brag. I'm honestly honestly makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable sharing this kind of stuff, but I know how important it is and how valuable it is. And I just want to impress upon you guys the importance and the value of everything that I'm about to share with you. I've obviously spent a lot of money learning these things and gaining this knowledge, and I figured this is probably a good thing for me to share with you. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So number one is faith versus fear. What is faith? What is fear? How do you act in faith and how do you act in fear? So there's this book out there by Napoleon Hill called Outwitting the Devil. It is absolutely phenomenal. One of the most amazing books that I've ever read. And in the book, essentially, it is Napoleon Hill interrogating the devil, right? And he's asking him how he operates, how he works, and how he kind of gets hold of people and gets them to stop and not pursue their dreams and all that kind of stuff. And in the book, he basically says that the devil controls 98% of people on the planet, and he can't control 2% of people on the planet. And the big distinguishing factor between the 2% and the 98% is faith versus fear. The people in the 2% act in faith or operate out of faith, whereas the people in the 98% operate out of fear. And the reality is that we see this in our world today is that most people spend their lives operating out of fear. They make their decisions based on fear. And if you want to be successful as a filmmaker, as a creator, as an entrepreneur, whatever that you're doing, you've got to learn how to act in faith. Now, what does that mean? So spiritual things aside, because we're not talking about like spiritual faith, although it is basically the same thing. The idea of acting in faith is basically taking action towards your goals without knowing the path that you're going to take to get there. The reality is that on the path to success, however you define that for yourself, there's going to be obstacles, there's going to be turns, there's going to be roadblocks. There are going to be things that are going to happen. And what a lot of people do is they spend so much time thinking about every single roadblock and trying to plan out every single thing that they think could possibly maybe happen on their journey to success that they never actually get started. Getting started and going, taking action is the thing that actually requires faith. Without knowing what is going to come your way, having faith, having the confidence that you're going to be able to tackle whatever comes your way and whatever presents itself so that you can get to your goals where you want to be. Now, number 2 on the subject of taking action is action versus motion. There's 2 very different things, action and motion, and a lot of people get stuck in motion but rarely take action. The thing is, if you want to get to your goals, if you want to get to where you want to be, you've got to take action. You have to get really good at taking action and not just motion. Eric, what does this mean? Well, motion, an example of motion would be sitting around watching YouTube videos or watching courses on how to do the thing that you want to do instead of actually getting out there and doing it. So if you're a filmmaker, sitting around trying to learn filmmaking, learning cinematography, taking courses, all that kind of stuff, what it can do is it will cause your brain to think that you're taking action. It makes you feel like you're making progress towards your goals, but the reality is the only way to really make progress is to actually get out there and practice, is to do the shoots, is to work with the clients, is to practice your lighting and do those things. You are going to make so much more progress and learn so much from getting out there and doing than you will from learning. And even though we sell courses, and I think our courses are some of the best in the world, and information is important, it's not the information that's going to save you, it's the implementation of that information that will get you where you want to go. So if you want to be successful, don't spend all your time in motion, but rather try to take action. Number 3 is the artist versus the entrepreneur. So there's two different types of people out there. There's artists and there's entrepreneurs. And since my audience who's watching this is typically filmmakers and creatives, most of you are probably more artists than you are entrepreneur. Although some of you probably are more entrepreneur. But there's a big difference between artists and entrepreneurs. What artists do is we go, there's this thing that I love to do. I'm passionate about this. I like this thing. I want to do this. Now, how do I figure out how to make money doing it? Right? And that's what I've done my entire life. I'm very much an artist more so than an entrepreneur. Now, entrepreneurs look at the world completely differently. What they do is they say, where is a problem that I can solve? And then once they find that problem or a pain point, they go, how can I develop a solution to solve that problem? So in a way, the artist starts with the solution. This is the solution that I want to provide. Now, who can I provide it to? Whereas an entrepreneur starts with the problem, the pain point, and then develops a solution to solve that problem. Now, there's nothing wrong with one or the other. It's just a different way of being. And it's not to say that artists can't be entrepreneurial, but the important thing to note here is that if you are more artistically inclined, if you are more of an artist, you've got to learn the entrepreneurial side of the equation if you want to be successful. What that means is that even if you started with, this is the thing that I'm passionate about and this is what I want to do, you've got to figure out how to fit that passion with a pain point that exists in the marketplace so that you're actually solving a problem for your clients, which is going to make them want to hire you and going to make them want to pay you much higher prices. Number 4 is scarcity versus abundance. So many people in this world operate in a mindset of scarcity, meaning there's not enough. I'm never going to have enough. There's no way I can get what I need to get. Other people are taking stuff away from me. A lot of people in this world tend to think in a pie mentality, as if like I've got to go out in the world and I've got to get my piece of the pie. But the reality is that that's not actually how money works or how things work at all. Because when somebody else makes a lot of money, that doesn't take money away from you that you can no longer make. Because think about it, if I make more money, then I tend to spend more money. If I make a ton of money, I'm going to hire more people. I'm going to create more jobs. I'm going to go to the store more often. I'm going to go to the movies more often. I'm going to pay more money by making more money. And so when you make more money, you actually make more money for everybody else in the world as well. And this is how an economy works. An economy actually increases not when people hoard their money, but when people let money flow through them. When you start saving, you start taking the advice of like financial gurus and you start saving and hoarding all of your money, that actually slows down the economy and it's actually worse for the entire world. In contrast, an economy actually grows when the money starts flowing faster. So as an entrepreneur, start thinking about how can I let the money flow through me instead of trying to hoard it. When you want to buy something, instead of saying, I can't afford that, which puts your brain to sleep. Instead, ask yourself, how can I afford it? Which puts your brain into action and will make you actually take the action that you need to take in order to reach your goals. If you ever find yourself focusing on lack or scarcity and thinking about how you're not where you want to be yet, instead flip that mindset to, look at how far I've come from where I've started. That is how you can flip your mindset from a scarcity mindset to an abundance or gratitude mindset. And by having that abundance and gratitude, you will actually attract more of that into your life. Number 4, bad debt versus good debt. So a lot of the financial gurus out there will want to tell you that debt is bad. Do not go into debt. Never go into debt. Don't go into debt for something that loses money, whatever. All this information out there. And while it is good for, I think, a lot of people, if you're the type of person that is really bad at managing your money and being responsible with it, it can be a good thing for you. But the better thing to do is to understand the difference between bad debt and good debt. So there are types of debt out there that are really valuable, and most successful entrepreneurs and people who have built massive wealth have utilized debt or leveraged other people's money in order to get there. So good debt is leveraging other people's money in order to make investments in yourself and in your business that are going to produce a return. On the flip side, bad debt is using other people's money to buy things that you can't afford in order to look like you can afford them, which are two very different things. So I'm not talking about going out and buying fancy cars just so that you look rich, but instead to invest in yourself, to invest in your business. If there's a course or a program or something that you want to get into out there that's going to produce a return for your business, that would be a good investment, even if you need to leverage other people's money in order to make it. And by the way, this is not professional financial advice. This is just my opinion, so please don't sue me. And number 6, last but not least, is modeling versus inventing. 80% of business is just following a proven model. The big mistake that a lot of people make is thinking that their business is so unique and so different and not even anywhere close to what other people's businesses are. And the reality is that 80% of your business is literally just following a model that has already been proven. I see a lot of filmmakers making the mistake of going out and thinking they're going to create something totally unique that nobody's ever done before. But the reality is that entrepreneurs have been around for centuries. There's probably not that many business models out there that haven't been tried. And so if it seems like nobody is doing it, it's probably because somebody tried it, it didn't work, and that's why nobody does it anymore. So instead of trying to invent something totally unique and new, just look at the proven business models that are out there and follow one of them. If you can just look at what somebody else is doing that's being successful in what you want to do and model what they're doing, you will make progress so much faster towards your goals than you would if you tried to go out and reinvent the wheel. So 80% of your business is literally just following a proven model, but the other 20% is where you get to add your own creative flair and your own style to the business, your brand, your logo, your way of doing things where you make it unique to you. So there is that 20% and there is that part of it for all of you artists out there that are like, wait, I want to do something unique. You can make it unique, you can make it yours, but understand that the model that you're following should be something that is out there and that a lot of people are using. Okay guys, there's my top 6 things that I learned from spending $300,000 on coaching and mentorship. Which one of these was your favorite? Or is there anything that I missed on this list that you would add to it if you could from things that you've learned? Let me know down in the comments below. I always check the comments and I love reading them from you guys. So let me know if you have any questions or anything like that. Post them down there and I will see you guys on the next video.